All right, so let's look at the task at hand for the front office in Edmonton, because you hear McDavid listing off some of the core players there that he would like to do this with. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is someone that he names. He's a UFA. When you look at the cap situation for the Oilers, what can you tell us about what this team will be able to do in the closer future?
Well, it looks like they're going to have about $25 million in cap room to work with. So that's a lot more than they've had in the past. And you can see here this list of unrestricted free agents is pretty long. And, I would think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is down the top for a reason. He's a guy you want. Those restricted guys, I don't think any of them are going to really earn a big increase in money. So I don't think you have to worry about those guys too much. You have to make a decision on a Tyson Barrie. I mean, he brings offense, but what does he do for you defensively? I think if you have a good stay-at-home, strong, left-shot guy to play with Tyson Barrie, maybe he can be more effective and be helpful for you. You need guys that can play offense from the blue line, and he's good at it. So we will see over time. But I just think they need more role players. They need more core guys. They need more guys that can help them lock down games and be used in situations, Billy, to stop the Scheifele's and stop the other good players in the league and set the table for the high-end players that they have in Edmonton, the McDavids and the Draisaitl's. And I think at the end of the day, too, they got to figure out, are we going to play these guys apart, or are we just, every time there's panic, are we going to put them together? Because that seems to what goes on up there.
I agree, but you're right, they don't have another option right now. They're so...
But aren't these guys good enough, though, Billy, that they should be able... I mean, for years, Sidney Crosby made other guys, other wingers better because of the way he is. I mean, at some point in time, you got to take the security blanket away and make it harder for the other team.
Well, look, this is where I feel odd saying this. Disagree with Connor McDavid. I still feel like they are...
a ways away.
A ways away right now. I know he said at the end there, I'm paraphrasing, that they're a lot closer. It feels light years away, but we're not. We're closer. It doesn't feel that way right now. To me, it does feel that way right now, Jackie. That
a lot of holes.
That they're still a long ways away. And you cannot waste these years of phenomenal all-world best player in the universe, Connor McDavid. You just can't if you're the Edmonton Oilers anymore.
And I hate to bring this up, but, this team ain't playing in the All-Canadian North Division next year.
No, they are not.
So
I sure hope not.
It might be a little bit tougher because that's my point. Is this season was different. This was a different division by most people's standards. It was probably the weakest division of the four. That's not going to be the case next year for Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. They're going to have to play good teams often.
Well, they will get the three California teams that are rebuilding. So there's some. Those are not dynamic teams, and they have an expansion team in Seattle coming in. You have Vancouver should be better. So,
they need two legit defensemen.
Absolutely.
They need two legit defensemen. They need three legit depth forwards that not fourth line. I'm talking.
They need a goaltender.
Well, hold on. That was the last one, and most importantly, they're going to need a goalie. Of that, what was it 8 UFAs? I think you said, Jackie. 8 of them.
A long list.
Yeah. I would be surprised if more than one of those guys came back.
Yeah.
Well, they have them back. Yeah. I would. I think they're a lot further away than maybe they realize.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with that. But
the guy on the bottom of that list, Peter Mrazek, he's not playing right now, right? So maybe he looks at it and says, I know you do, he's on your fantasy team, but he might look at it and say, I'm going to test the waters. Kenny Holland had Peter Mrazek in Detroit, so there's a familiarity there. They do need to upgrade that. I think they need to move on from Koskinen in some way. I think he's got 1 year left. I think he's got 1 year left, but they've got to figure that out. Apparently, listening to some people in Edmonton, they were talking about the idea of they would bring Mike Smith back as a number 2 guy.
Yeah, I can see that. And that'd be my one guy from that list.
And that would, maybe that's the case. They got to figure out Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. But you're right. I mean, I think that they have to do things to help this group. And, that's why I brought it up earlier in the show, as silly as it sounds. And I agree with you. I don't think Zdeno Chara wants to go there. But they need guys who understand winning in that group because they haven't had any winning in Edmonton for a long time. And McDavid and Draisaitl, they need some guys there that they can lean on that have been through it.
Yeah.
So, for me, we'll see what Kenny Holland does. He's been hamstrung in his first couple of years because of the cap. Now he's going to have an opportunity, we will see, what he can do to improve that roster.
Now, lots of questions. We'll see what answers Kenny Holland and his staff come up with.